Time is here. So today I'm going to share our back to school shopping haul with you, share our school supplies as well as our clothing, show you what we bought, how much we spent, and give you a few tips to help you save on your back to school expenses. Hey there, I'm Brittany from BrittanyFlammer.com with videos all about budgeting and money saving tips for you and your family. We are starting school here tomorrow. Whoops. Sorry, my phone. We are starting school tomorrow where I live. Let me know in the chat or in the comments down below when you guys start school. We have friends that started at the very beginning of August, and we know people that don't start till after Labor Day. But it is that back to school season, and I love this. Even as a kid, I love this time of year. As a mom, I really love it. But I'm going to hop into it. I found an article. I've actually read several articles on the cost of back to school shopping for families. One of them that I just barely found was from Florida, and they said the average cost was going to be like over $800 per family. But I just read another article that said the average from, I think it's fortune.com, the average cost per child is $661. $661 per kid. They talked about the cost of inflation going up. So you're paying more on school supplies, more on clothing, and they were also including extracurricular expenses. So that maybe isn't most accurate because I'm not going to talk about extracurricular stuff today. I'm just talking about school supplies and clothing. But there's no way we're going to spend that much. So here, I'm going to start with our school supplies. A few tips. And this is totally not scripted for my videos. Usually I like to script things out and crop them so they're as short as possible and concise, but this is very impromptu, so it's very authentic. I think all of my kids needed colored pencils. We went to the store. I did almost all of our shopping for school supplies at Walmart. The Crayola color pencils were 97 cents at Walmart. These generic ones were 50 cents. So that's like half the price. And I'm sure there are times when quality is worth paying more for, but for my 5 or 6-year-old, they don't care. My 9-year-old doesn't care. So I bought generic. So I saved 50% almost on each of these. So I always buy generic. Same rubber bands. These ones were less than $1. Some of the rubber bands were like $3, and they're just for science projects for the kids. So I don't think they need anything more than that. So I spent $1 instead of $3 on those. Generic dry erase markers. Now, some teachers on their school lists specify, at least for us, they specified name brands. So one of my kids, their teacher requested Expo dry erase markers. The other teacher just needed 2, didn't request a brand. They just wanted the fine tip ones. So I got the generic brand, which was a fraction of the price. Now, I know depending on where you live, every school is different. We have sent kids to, I think, 5 different elementary schools, and those back to school supply lists have varied drastically. So I know your expenses are going to vary a lot. But if the teacher asks for a certain brand, then I definitely will get the certain brand that they request if I can. If they don't ask, I'm going to pay like half price or a fraction of the price and get the generic brand. Same thing with highlighters. And when the kids are younger, it all goes into, like, at least our experience at our elementary schools, it goes into like a group bin of markers, a group bin of colored pencils. So it's not even necessarily your kid that's using it. So I try to get whatever the teachers ask for. My daughter needed 2 different colored highlighters, and my other daughter needed 2 different color highlighters. They're a little bit older, so they keep theirs in their own pencil pouches. So I bought one package, and we can open it and divide it between the 2 of them. Now, these Ticonderoga, is that how you pronounce it, are so expensive, but they are really good quality. And several of the teachers on our school supply list, they requested these specific pencils. At home, I prefer these because they actually stay sharpened and they're better. So it's worth it to me to pay more for them. But I used a cashback app. So these were, I can't remember the exact price. I meant to check my receipt. These were $2 or $3. And I used Fetch, got cash back for $2. So I got them for the same price as the generic ones because I used a cashback app. I do not spend a lot of time with cashback apps. I use Ibotta for groceries, I will spend a couple minutes before I go shopping and and find that I bought offers and save money that way. And then when I remember after I'm done shopping, I'll snap photos of my receipts and upload to Fetch. I didn't realize there was a cashback offer for these, but I plugged it in. I snapped a photo of my receipt to Fetch, and I got $2 back. So that's a great way. Cashback apps. I have links in the description box down below. Ibotta I use, Fetch a little bit, and Rakuten if I'm shopping online. Those are the 3 cashback apps I use the most. Once again, generic. My daughter needed folders. These generic ones, they feel just as sturdy as they needed plastic non-paper ones. This met the criteria. These were 50 cents as opposed to some of them are like $2. And there's not much of a difference to me. So that's saving what, 75% there. Same thing, my daughter needed a binder. This one was for something, the generic Pen & Gear brand at Walmart. The name brand was $12 for a binder, and this one was for something. So it's a fraction of the price. Mechanical pencils, my daughters, these were on their lists, and they get to keep them at their own desks themselves. So I bought a big package and splitting them between the 2. Now, composition notebooks, they're no longer like black and white like they used to be for us, but there are so many options when you go to buy these. These ones at the Walmart where we live were 56 cents. But if you wanted cute ones with like cute covers, everything's the same. They just have a cute cover. They were like $2 and $3. So I am going to spend the 56 cents and get the boring ones. And in the past, if my kids are interested, I will let them buy the nicer, more expensive one, the cuter one, if they pay the difference. So I want to say it was a couple years ago, both of my daughters wanted like glittery, sparkly ones, and they were $2 instead of like 50 cents. So they paid the difference. So I bought all of them, and then they paid me the difference. And at the end of the year, they came home and hadn't even used all of them. And one of my daughters said, I will never, ever spend more money again. And the other daughter was glad she had spent money and got the cuter one. So she was happy to do that. So if they want the nicer stuff, I'm totally on par to do that, but they're going to pay the difference. Now we can afford to pay a little bit more for it, but when we couldn't, it wasn't even an option. And now they don't, well, other than the first time they pick it up, I don't think it matters. I like to have a cute notebook. So for myself, I might buy a cuter one and spend more. But for my kids, unless they don't specifically are willing to contribute, put some skin in the game, they're going to get the cheap ones. Same thing with like pencil pouches, 97 cents. You can spend $5 and $10 on cute ones. If they want that, if they're willing to spend their money, then I will let them do that. I'm going to buy the 97-cent ones. In fact, my son, who's going into 1st grade, needed a pencil box. And this is his from last year from kindergarten. He needs a pencil box and his name's supposed to be on it. So this is his from last year. Still in great shape. We're reusing the same one from last year and his name's already written on it. So that didn't cost anything. Backpacks. So backpacks is one of those things I would rather spend more money on up front and get a nice, good quality one that will last. So our kids, I found a really good deal on a good name brand. I can't remember. Oh, it was Pottery Barn. They were clearanced out. So I got Pottery Barn ones for our girls, and they lasted through all of elementary school. My daughter, so I got them, went through kindergarten through 5th grade. My daughter's going into 6th grade, where we live now is still in elementary school, but she really wanted a new one. She asked me last year if she could get a new one. And so on Amazon Prime Day, she looked and found a good deal on one that she liked. And normally I want to buy nice, good quality. I thought she'd picked out a JanSport one, which is a good quality. But then when it came, I realized it was not a JanSport one. So I thought about returning it, but here in middle school, they don't even use their backpacks other than to and from school. During the day, they leave them in their lockers. So I thought it wasn't worth the effort of returning it, but we knew she wanted one. So we looked on Amazon Prime and found a good deal on one. So all of our school supplies are all generic, unless the teacher requested a more expensive brand, or if we were using them at home, like I bought some of the Taekwondo pencils for us to use at home because I like them more. I went in with a list because it's so easy to get so carried away with wanting, I don't know, I like back to school supplies and I want to get the markers and everything. And my kids are the same way. But if you have a list, it helps you stick to it. Buy generic brands. Use the cashback apps. Ibotta had some app offers for, I want to say, this 5-star notebooks, which we didn't need any notebooks, so I didn't buy any. But we also got the cashback for the Ticonderoga pencils from Fetch. So I will use cashback apps, or if you have coupons, use them. But I spent $34 on all of our supplies. And I realize where we live, their school supply lists are pretty minimal compared to some other places where we've lived. But I got everything for $34. I have my oldest daughter, they did not give them their school supply lists until she just got hers yesterday, and school starts tomorrow. So we do have to buy a couple more things. It'll probably be like another $10. But then moving on to clothing. Before we go back to school shopping, I have my kids, we go through all of their clothes. We set aside the ones that are like gross and nasty and need to get rid of, and we will donate the ones that they're not going to wear, because if they don't like them, I know they're not going to wear them. So I'll donate what they're not going to wear. I'll throw away the ones that are holes and ripped up, and we make a list of what they actually need. Because once you start looking at their clothes, I realize they really don't need that much. I think they need whole outfits, but really they just need a shirt to match the shorts they already have, or I just look at what they've got and fill in the gaps. And so they don't need a whole new wardrobe. Even though I feel like we're programmed to buy a whole new wardrobe back to school, but they don't need it. So we just make a list of what they actually need. So when we go shopping, we're just shopping for what they need. My favorite places to shop are thrift stores for clothing. Depends on where you live. Where we live now, we only have really one thrift store, and it's not the greatest. I don't find a lot, but I still like to look there because we find some things. And consignment sales are my favorite. If you live in a place, check to see if you live in a place where they do kids consignment sales. You can go in, and if you're careful, I would go in and get all of my kids shopping done in a couple of hours for like entire seasons. They're awesome. There is not one right here where we live, but thrift stores, consignment sales, and then online. We spent a day with my oldest two shopping and found hardly anything in stores. So we ended up buying most of our stuff online. My oldest daughter, she now pays for her own clothes. So she got online, she looked at several different stores, and she ended up, since she's paying for herself, she ended up buying most of our clothes from Shein.com because they're a fraction of the price, and she would rather buy more but spend less money. So she bought almost all of her clothes from Shein, and she got a lot of things like, let me see if I can find, I didn't bring all of our clothes to show you, but like she got a bunch of sweatshirts and t-shirts and jeans. That's like what she's into. So that's what she bought. She spent, I think it was $75, got free shipping, and we had a coupon that gave us like 20% off because I'm on their email list. And she spent like $75 and got, I think, 3 or 4 t-shirts, 2 sweatshirts, couple of pair of pants, belt. She got all the staples that she needed. Even though she pays for her own clothes, we pay for basic shoes, pair of church shoes, pair of decent running shoes, and a pair of good quality sandals. I don't like having tons, so I'd rather buy less but nicer quality. So she found the shoes she wanted. She doesn't need sandals. She still has sandals that are in good shape, so we didn't buy sandals, and she still has church shoes, but she needed tennis shoes. So she found these. These are the ones she wanted. She found them, the cheapest place she can find them was at Kohl's, and they were like $95 at Kohl's. And there's no way I'm willing to spend $95 for a pair of shoes for my kids. So I would not spend that much for me. So I gave her a $50 limit, and she found some for under 50, but she didn't like them. So she was willing to pay the difference with this. We bought them at Kohl's, and we did have some Kohl's cash, so I let her use that. And then we did in-store pickup and got $5 Kohl's cash with that. So, and hers, and then she waited, and they ended up going on sale. So she ended up getting for like $85, I think. So I paid for them, but she paid the difference. I was only willing to pay $50. So, and she didn't need any other shoes. Basics like underwear, socks, those types of things, I usually like to buy on Black Friday. I feel like we usually find good prices then, so I buy a ton then. And so we don't always need them at back to school time. If we do need them, I will grab some, but we don't. I did buy a few things at Kohl's. I do a lot of shopping on Amazon, like everyone, right? And if I ever do returns, I drop them off at Kohl's. And when I do that, they give me $5 Kohl's cash. So I try to avoid having to do returns, but I feel like I've had a lot this summer. So whenever I take returns in, I get the $5 Kohl's cash and I'll just pick up something that I know we're going to need. So let's see. What did I buy? I bought, I don't have them right here with me. I bought an outfit for one of my boys because I knew he needed a new shorts and t-shirt matching outfit. And I used my $5 Kohl's cash. It was like their jumping bean mix and match. So I ended up paying like $6 or $7 for a t-shirt and shorts. We did go to Old Navy. My daughter needed some exercise clothes. My daughter that does not pay for her own clothing. She found some exercise pants she really liked. They were like $30. And then she found these and they were like $10. And she liked them both. So we got the $10 pair. I did have some $5 of Old Navy. So, and I didn't realize that. So I bought, my son needed a bunch of shorts. So I got the shorts. They were on sale for like $6 and I had $5 off. So I got them for like $1. But we're only buying things that we need. We also like to shop at Ross and TJ Maxx. So my daughter needed some exercise clothes. So we bought exercise bottoms at Old Navy because they were on sale. And then exercise shirt. This was like $5 at Ross. And we made sure that they match, like the colors go together. So I just go through our list and find the things that we need. Here's another exercise shirt. This was also a Kohl's purchase. It was on sale, I think, for $10. And I got the $5 Kohl's cash because I was doing an Amazon return. So we got it for $5. And at Ross, I found jeans for my boys that were like $8. So I bought they each needed 2 pairs. So I got 2 pair for each of them. My daughter that's paying for her own clothes, she found these sweats. I think these were at Kohl's as well, but they're Nike. So they were on sale, but I think they were still like $30 or $35. And there were generic brand ones for like $20. But she wanted the more expensive, the name brand. So she bought the name brand. But I told her not to take the tags off, to keep the receipts. And in case she came across it like a thrift store or somewhere cheaper, found them cheaper, then she could return those. But we never did. So she's keeping them and she was happy to pay that much for them. My son needed a long sleeve t-shirt to go with some sweatpants. So I got this. This was an Old Navy purchase and they were on sale. So it was like $4 or $5. We also ordered a lot from Target. We did the Cat and Jack brand, the mix and match for my boys. They were on sale and they were offering spend $40, get $10 cash back. So I needed a bunch of stuff for my boys, and then my other daughter needed some clothes. So it ended up being about $80 for what we wanted to get. So rather than doing it in one transaction, I did 2 transactions. So I got $20 off instead of 10. So I spent $40 on one, got the $10 off. And then I spent $40 on another, got the $10 off. And I also have a Target debit card, so I get the 5% off and free shipping. So I ended up spending, I did the math. Let me find it. We did some shopping at Kohl's, a little bit of Old Navy, online, Shein. I did buy some shoes for some of my other kids on Amazon. And I was spending $375 on clothes for everything. That doesn't include my oldest daughter, what she bought, just what I spent. And we still need a few items. I have learned some of my kids, most of my kids, if they don't like it, they are not going to wear it. And so my one daughter that we still buy her clothes, she still needs a few things, but she didn't find anything that she likes. But she has enough clothes. She'll be fine. She doesn't need all of them before school starts. So we'll keep looking in the next few weeks. We'll probably buy a few more things for her. But we spent $34 on back to school supplies and $375 on clothing and shoes for 4 of our children. And that's all they need for the most part. So it doesn't have to be $600 per kid. It can be done cheaper. Just make sure you have lists and are buying what you need, not just what you want or what your kids want. Anyway, if you're interested in trying, oh, and another main tip I forgot, when we shopped online, Rakuten. Rakuten. I love Rakuten. It's so easy. If I'm shopping on the computer, we downloaded their browser. So if I go to a store like Old Navy or Target, it will pop up notifying me that I can get cash back. All I have to do is click one button and then I'll get the cash back. It's not a ton. It's usually just like a couple percent, but it's free. I'm already doing the shopping anyway. So I always use Rakuten if I'm shopping online. If I'm doing it on the phone, I go through their app. It takes like an extra 10 seconds. But I always use Rakuten when I'm shopping online. And then in store for the school supplies, I used Ibotta and Fetch. I do have tutorials for all of those cashback apps in the description box. Down below are some links, or if you have never tried the apps, you can try them. Sign up for them. I have links down below, but those are my favorite. Let me know in the comments down below how much you think you spend on back to school shopping, because it can be a very, very expensive time. But let me know in the comments down below. I planned on spending about $200 on clothing this month. So obviously I spent $375, so I went way over. But we have a sinking fund where it's a fund where I put money every single month into an account for our kids. And so when I sign them up for school sports, I'll pull the money out of there. Or when I went over on school shopping and needed money, I pulled money out of that account. So I'm putting a little bit away every month so that we have the money there when it's time for the back to school shopping. So I'm not going to have to go into debt, but we've already got the money there set aside, ready to go. So it's not like we have a huge hit to our budget this month, even though back to school can be expensive. Any tips you have, I'd love to hear them, or any stores, especially if there are online stores that you really like. I know there are a lot of kind of online thrifty type stores. I haven't really tried any of them. So if there are any you like, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know them. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Now it's that awkward time till I don't